On the first day of selection for Special Forces, you're packed into a mess hall on an old battle camp in the Brecon Beacons. You're supposed to be listening to the opening brief, but instead you're sizing everyone up. Over 200 faces with a less than 10% pass rate. That means less than 20 people will be there by the end. And the only question you're asking yourself is, will one of them be me? Most people think to be the best, you have to go faster and harder than everyone else. You don't. The truth is, to beat selection, you have to beat yourself. It's you versus you, and only you. Life and business are exactly the same. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 battles you must win against yourself, plus the unbreakable rule to make it all stick. And by the end, you'll leave with a formula to win again and again and again. It starts with battle number 1, your quit point. I started my military career as a Royal Marine Commando. One of the hardest physical tests in basic training is the 30-foot rope climb with 30 pounds of kit on. From the top of that rope, it's a long way down. And with that extra weight, if you hit the ground, things tend to snap and break. Training makes you fitter and stronger. It prepares your body for the challenge. But the biggest battle is in your head. The mind always hits a mental quit point before the body. You have to train your mind to push that quit point further away. The recruits who do pass, the ones who don't fail. In Special Forces selection during the hills phase, this becomes even more important. Long days with heavy loads through miles of steep climbs, brutal descents and unforgiving terrain. All done on your own with no encouragement and no feedback. Just you, a map, a compass, and your thoughts. And this is what breaks people. When you are soaked through, exhausted, and barely on pace, your mind becomes your worst enemy. Every negative thought gets amplified. The quit point comes from the mind, not when the body fails. The same battle shows up in business every single day. When you're months into launching a new product, the traction isn't there, the feedback is lukewarm, and your internal voice says, this isn't working. That's your brain sliding towards the mental quit point. The truth is, it's just feedback to iterate and improve. When you're on sales call number 47, you've heard not interested 46 times, and your brain offers you an exit. Maybe I'm just not built for this. That's your current quit point, but it's not your true potential. Underperformers believe that their quit point is fixed. Elite performers know that it's a moving target you train. Every time you push past it, it moves further away. But every time you stop before it, it moves closer. I've helped hundreds of clients with this. If you want the high performance operating system from Special Forces to do the same, there's a free link below this video. This battle is simple. Today's quit point versus tomorrow's quit point. Are you expanding your capacity or are you leaving all of your potential on the table? I like the phrase, if you can't play with the pain, you can't play the game. In business, it's the number of rejections, failures, and knockbacks you can handle that will determine your success. In fitness, it's the last few reps after the point you want to stop that drives the improvement and growth. In your relationships, it's the difficult conversation you'd rather avoid that creates long-term happiness. On my selection, there were moments I didn't think I was going to make the time. When the weather's in, the mist, the rain, you can't see anything. The ground's steep and broken and the conditions are horrendous. You think that there's no way you're going to make it, but you either give up on yourself or you take that next step and you keep going. I didn't know if I'd make it, but I did know if I didn't try, then failing was guaranteed. On operations, the odds can be stacked up against you. Selection is testing for those who will always do one more rep. The guys that pass selection have learned that the moment their brain screams stop is just data. You don't have to listen to it. Every time you stop when things get hard, you're training your quit point to arrive earlier. It's not about ignoring genuine limits, but about recognizing the difference between I'm at my limit versus I'm uncomfortable. Most people quit at the uncomfortable stage and call it their limit. But you can train your quit point, and these 3 tactics are how you do it. First, recognize the signal as data, not a command. Your brain will send quit signals. This is too hard. This isn't working. I'm not good at this. The signal is data telling you that you're at your current edge, which is exactly where growth happens. But it's not a command to stop. That's your choice. To push past this, the key is to reframe the discomfort. Pain in training means growth. Rejection in sales means you're doing volume. Awkwardness in new skills means you're learning. The discomfort is not a sign you're failing, it's a sign you're expanding. Reframe it as positive data that you're in your expansion zone. And the stronger, better, improved version of you is just beyond the edge of it. To get there, use the go one more protocol. When your quit point arrives, commit to go one more rep, one more call, one more attempt. This trains your brain that the quit signal is not the end, it's just the beginning of the new version of you. Battle number 2 is you versus your excuses. When I look back on my time on operations, what stands out is how rarely anything felt ready or ideal. A lot of the time, you're tired and worn down. But how you felt didn't matter. What mattered was the situation and the task in front of you. That's why training was always done regardless of conditions. It wasn't about being hard for the sake of it. It was about building the ability to perform no matter what. Your brain will often offer you excuses. I didn't sleep well. I don't feel good. I haven't eaten enough. These aren't lies. They might be true. But the version of you that executes doesn't need perfect conditions. The version that makes excuses will always find them. In business, the market isn't going to slow down while you get comfortable. If you only act when everything feels good, you'll quickly fall behind. Here's what most people miss. Your brain is trying to help you. When it offers an excuse, it's trying to protect you from discomfort, risk, or failure because it's wired for survival. The problem is that the same mechanism that kept your ancestors alive by avoiding unnecessary risks now keeps you stuck by avoiding necessary discomfort. The excuses aren't your enemy. Your willingness to accept them is. Every time you choose the excuse, you reinforce that pattern. You train your brain that discomfort is a sufficient reason to quit. You build a habit of negotiating with your commitments. Every time you execute despite the excuse, you weaken its grip. You train your brain that discomfort is not dangerous. You teach yourself that you can perform in suboptimal conditions. There are 2 very effective ways to defeat your excuses. 1, distinguish between reasons and excuses. A reason is verifiable and objective. I have a broken leg. An excuse is subjective and negotiable. I don't feel like it. Apply the filter. Would a Navy SEAL accept this? Would a surgeon accept this? Would a 9-figure business owner accept this? This works by removing emotion and comparing your excuse to real-world standards that don't negotiate. 2, make the first move easy and small. Your excuses gain power from the size of the task. Your brain doesn't resist the entire workout, the long call list, or the whole pitch deck. It resists starting. Shrink the first move so small that your excuse has nothing to grip. Put on your shoes, open your contact list, write 1 sentence. All the friction exists before you start. Kill the excuse before it has time to argue. Battle 3, you versus your standard. In military training, there's a term, standard drift. It's when small compromises in discipline compound over time. You see it clearly during the jungle phase of selection for special forces. Start small, a bit less kit prep or cutting a corner on admin because you're tired. The decision doesn't look big in the moment, but the jungle is ruthless about exposing those choices. Heat, fatigue, and constant pressure magnify every small lapse. Over days and weeks, those tiny compromises compound until the person quits or fails. Selection isn't just testing strength or endurance, it's testing whether you can maintain standards when no one is watching and everything is telling you to let them slide. This is the most dangerous battle because it's the quietest. You don't lose to standard drift in one moment, you lose it gradually, one compromise at a time. Standard drift happens in every area of your life. And this battle is so dangerous because each compromise feels justified. You tell yourself you're not being lazy, you're being flexible. You're not lowering your standards, you're being realistic. You're not quitting, you're adapting to the circumstances. Every compromise comes with a legitimate sounding story, but the result is the same. Your standard drifts. And you don't notice until you're living a life far below your true potential. Getting back on track is simple. Today's standard versus yesterday's standard. Did you do what you said you would do, or did you negotiate with yourself? Excellence is a habit, not a performance. But habits require maintenance. The version of you that maintains your standard versus the version that lets it slide, this battle determines your entire trajectory. And if you want to change this, you need to follow the final unbreakable rule. Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. How often do you snooze the alarm, skip training, choose easy tasks over what actually needs to be done? Every day you face dozens of small choices. Each choice is a battle between 2 versions of you. The version that chooses comfort isn't weak, it's wired into your DNA. Your biology pushes you towards what's easy, familiar, and safe. This isn't a character flaw, it's evolutionary programming. For our ancestors, conserving energy meant survival. Choosing easy over hard is the default setting for every human. Choosing hard over easy has to be trained. The military doesn't find people who are already comfortable with discomfort, it builds that through repeated exposure. Cold water, sleep deprivation, physical exhaustion, mental pressure. None of it is comfortable. All of it is necessary. My training didn't eliminate my desire for comfort, it built the ability to choose discipline despite that desire. And you don't master this battle once, you face it every single day. The alarm goes off and you get up. You start the hard task first instead of hiding in emails. You eat a proper lunch instead of grabbing whatever's easy. You train even when the sofa is calling. You pay attention to your partner and your kids. Those things may seem small, but the compound effect of these decisions is massive. Choose comfort today and your life gets harder. Choose discipline today and your life becomes easier. There are 3 clear tools you can use to maintain this habit. 1, define your non-negotiables. Write down the standards you refuse to compromise on. Not aspirations, commitments. When the moment arrives, you're not deciding, you're executing a pre-made commitment. 2, create a minimum viable standard. You don't need perfect execution every day. If you can't do the full workout, do 20 minutes. If you can't write the full article, write 300 words. The standard is you don't skip, you show up. Even reduced execution beats accepted compromise. And 3, ask the 6-month question. When you're tempted to compromise, ask, if I make this choice every day for 6 months, where will I be? Not just once, every day. The answer reveals whether it's a genuine adaptation or a standard drift in disguise. Here's why all of this matters. These 3 battles and following the unbreakable rule don't stay isolated. They compound. When you push past your quit point, you build evidence that weakens your excuses. When you maintain your standard, choosing hard over easy becomes automatic. Each victory makes the next battle easier. Each defeat makes the next battle harder. This is what military training is about. It puts you through these battles repeatedly, systematically, until the version of you that executes becomes stronger than the version that doesn't, and you pass. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about training the right version of you to win more often than the wrong version. Right now you have goals. Some of them might be really big. And right now you might not be good enough to reach them. You don't have to be good enough right now. All you have to do is win more of these battles than you lose. Push your quit point further. Reject more excuses. Hold your standard. Choose hard over easy. Do that consistently and your capabilities will expand to meet your goals. The Royal Marines tagline is, it's a state of mind. Life is you against you. It's in your power to choose which version of you wins each day. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe to get them delivered to your feed each week. And remember, performance comes from training. Do the reps.